All right, greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome to the Crypto Truth, where I give you the truth as I see it. Forgive me, I got a crook in my neck or something like that. And it's kind of stiff, but anyway, I just it's been a while, obviously. I want to talk about the current situations, what's happened since last time I've spoken. I think a couple of days or maybe 3 or 4 days later, the crypto market just took off. I shouldn't say market, excuse me. Bitcoin took off, right? And Bitcoin went to obviously around 111, $112,000. And yeah, so congratulations to those who hold Bitcoin. And you know, there's a lot going on within the government. There's a lot going on within especially in the United States of America. And I kind of just wanted to touch on exactly where I feel the market is going to go, and where I feel the world is going to go as far as crypto is concerned. So we all know that Bitcoin is going to be adopted by institutions. XRP, we know there's a lot of connections with XRP and the bank system. The banks are obviously trying to horn in on this whole creating possibly their own stable coin and different things like that. Sorry, you guys, it's really, really hurting. I don't know what to do. It's pretty bad. But excuse me. But yeah, so banks are trying to horn in on this whole stablecoin regulation that's coming out. And we see here that especially in the United States, there's a lot of confusion. We have Elizabeth Warren. She's still going out on this whole thing about criminals, and at some point, to me personally, if you're still listening to Elizabeth Warren and the bullshit that she's spitting out, then you seriously have issues and problems. I'm sorry. Yes, there are some concerns she brings up that she has valid points, but they're not as valid as actually they're not quite as valid as what they could be if she actually put everything into context. Especially when we compare TradFi to the TradFi to the crypto space. So there's just a lot there. There's just a lot going on when it comes to what's happening behind the scenes. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Elizabeth Warren wasn't holding Bitcoin herself in the background. And then, I believe, what is it, JP Morgan, or Peter Schiff, he said, oh yeah, my son has Bitcoin or whatever. He probably has Bitcoin. He probably has some stashed off to the side. All this, these people who are, you can't, look, you cannot believe these people when they talk to you and tell you things on publicly, because they're lying. They're straight up lying to you. And they'll go, for them, it's all for them to say, they have millions of followers, and then they'll say, oh, oops, I'm sorry, my bad, I was wrong. Just like Dave Ramsey, for example. I recently listened to Dave Ramsey. I listen to Dave Ramsey quite often because he has good advice on how people should spend their money and what they should do and what you're doing with your funds, 401k, all of that good stuff, your debt. And he was talking about, once again, he was talking about these crypto, and then all of a sudden, everybody always jumps into the crypto bros. Everybody's not a crypto bro, or there are legit reasons as to why people invest into cryptocurrency, and I'm talking Bitcoin and altcoins as well. There are legit reasons as to why people would do those things. And for him, I remember, what was it, 6 months, 7 months ago, he said, he told this person, he said, yeah, you got that Bitcoin? Sell it now. So he's telling this lady to sell her Bitcoin, right? And now, what if she sold, I forgot how much she had, but she had quite a bit. And now what would happen if she had just held it? Because at that time, I believe it was like 50, 60, Bitcoin was around 50, 60,000, approaching 70. And He was just telling people to just sell it because over the long term it could go down to zero. That's his main thing. And now, like, if you look at it, he's not going to say, oops, I'm sorry. He's doubling down. And so it won't be until the world drastically changes, and I'm not saying that the world is going to drastically change specifically to Bitcoin, because I think there's a couple of things that's going to happen, but and I'll get into that in a second. But when we're talking about drastic change, excuse me, not drastic change, excuse me, when we're talking about apologizing, they've spent years and years, they have millions of followers, they're giving them bad advice, and well, they're giving them their own personal advice, but they don't have any logic to it, right? And so because you look at Dave Ramsey, you look at a lot of these people, they're into the current system, the way the current system works, and they don't believe that the current system is going to break. They just don't. And that's just their opinion. Oh, we've been talking about possible, what is the word? We've been talking about a recession, and we've been talking about stagflation and different things like that. And you guys know I made a video on stagflation. I do think we're going to have stagflation in our lifetime. This just is, period, in the story. I think it's going to happen. And then I think it's going to be the fall of fiat currency. Again, we'll get to that later because I have more to say on that. Man, it's really killing me. This is actually embarrassing, you guys. You guys know I've made so many videos. I don't make videos to where I'm just messing with my neck and stuff, but it's hurting bad. But anyway, so when it comes to I get sidetracked talking about my damn neck. But when it comes to all of these influencers or these people who are giving advice, and they're telling you how the current system works, and they make money and they do well in the current system, and they don't believe that anything is going to break. But anybody who's educated knows that eventually we're thinning the thread to surviving a collapse of some kind, and it's just going to take one little thing to teeter it going either way, as far as investments are concerned, right? So Bitcoin is not going to zero. It's going to be impossible for Bitcoin to go to zero. So that advice was terrible. Again, once another millionaire, right? They don't understand. They do understand, but they're stuck in the past on how to get out of. They're stuck with the guaranteed way, right? So if you trade your time in for hours, or your hours in, your time for hours, and what time is hours? Excuse me. If you trade your time in for fiat currency, you're going to get fiat currency to be able to take care of your situations and the things that are happening in your life, right? So you need money, you need gas, you need money for gas, food, all that good stuff, right? Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We need fiat currency for that. Well, it's coming to a point to where we're not going to need fiat currency, or I should say fiat currency is not going to be enough. Honestly, fiat currency is already has already been losing its value for hundreds of years. Actually, I'm going to say hundreds of years because thousands of years, because every major economy has fallen, with their fiat currency. So we all know that fiat currency just it's not efficient. We know that capitalism is not really efficient. That's just the truth. Not saying it's the best. I'm not saying it's the worst. It's the best system that we have, but it's not really efficient. And there's too many people. There's too many humans that are being left behind. So anyway, going back to what I was stating before with these influencers, we're starting to get people talking about holochain, for example. And the guy made a video. I can't remember. I'm always surfing. And he makes a video saying, oh, yeah, we bought some holochain tokens. And I'm like, huh? And I'm like confused. And, it's like one of those things to where he's like, I'm not sure whether I should buy holo fuel or holochain. And I'm like, what? So there's a lot of confusion out there. There's a lot of people out there that are not doing their research. They see a token. They only care or see the hot price, which is totally understandable. By the way, anybody who looks at the hot token as an investment value, totally understandable and respectable. I'm not going into all of that. I do respect anybody that that is looking at it from an investment point of view, as I do. 80% of I would say not 80, I would say about 70% of the reason why I'm into or follow Holochain for years and purchased the hot token was because of its investment value. Now, as far as the other 30% of their philosophy and what they believe in and what they're trying to do, yeah, I do believe in that, but at the same time, you have to be able to adapt to the current world and how the world works now, so that you can be prepared and to bring in people, to bridge people in to the new system or a new possible system that could happen. So anyway, yeah, so that's what's been going on. And my opinions as far as what's been going on in the White House, as far as Trump making a reserve currency. We all knew all of these things were going to happen. If any of you guys are a huge fan of Doge, and I'm not talking about the coin, I'm talking about whatever, I have bad news for you. They haven't really been solving anything. They haven't been saving American dollars. They've been rescuing, how should I say, they've been avoiding more, I should say, wasted dollars, but then the wasted dollars going to something else. What in the world is on my mouth? I'm so sorry, you guys. Good grief. What in the world? I have no idea. I didn't eat anything today, so not yet anyway. Kind of weird. But anyway, so yeah, that's what's been going on. And what else has been going on? What else that I really wanted to talk to you guys about before I get into my whole rant of what I think is going to happen? I think I'm just going to go into it. So here's what's been happening. Here's what's going to happen. I've always stated this. I've always said this, and you guys can look at my previous video. Actually, I made a video specifically today, and I said, hey, Bitcoin is going to be a store of value. That it's going to be one of the major best stores of value out there. And as an asset, it is going to outperform many other assets, or going to be the best performing asset. So that's just the truth. And if there's anything that I try to tell you guys, I try to give you guys the truth as I see it. There's a reason why I say that. However, I believe that we are getting into, I think that the realization of Bitcoin is going to usher us into a new age of energy. And what I mean by that is that we're going to, I believe that as we start living in this world, we start understanding our time, our value, and we're going to start getting into transactions, smaller transactions, micro transactions, which I think is the future. I was listening to, I think I told you guys already, I was listening to a guy on Kitco News, and he was talking about, this is long way back in the day when I think it was like maybe 3 or 4 years ago. But the guy was talking about microtransactions, and I agree with him. I think that we're going to usher in a new age of energy where everyone could receive some kind of compensation for their time, because right now it's not right. Minimum wage in some places is still like $7 or $8. So you work a whole entire hour and you get let's see here, $7, $8 in those specific states. You will probably get a gallon of milk and some bread. Like, that's for 1 hour. Now, most people work 8 hours a day. And so, as you can see, it doesn't really equate to a successful, and this is what I meant by capitalism and how it works. I like I said, I don't know. I'm going to tell you guys I don't know the solution, although I do know the solution, and it's not socialism, but I'm not going to get into all that. That's a whole deeper conversation, and I've actually made a video on that before as well. I know my videos are painful because I'm not the best speaker in the world, but if you can possibly follow where my train of thought is going, you'll understand that it all makes sense. Speaking of making sense, as I stated before, I think that we're going to get into an age of energy where our energy is going to matter. What we do matters, and all the way to minute things. And I'm not talking about a type of control type of thing. I'm saying, okay, I do a task for X, Y, and Z, and it's a small task, but you're going to pay me for it. If a company or organization want to follow you and know where you're going on your GPS, you're going to get paid for it, right? So like there's going to be a whole lot of things to where you will get paid for because you are part. They either want information or they want your time, or they whatever it is, they are going to pay for it. And these are minute things. So I do believe that microtransactions are going to be the future. That now this is me saying microtransactions and how they're transacted is going to be the future compared. This is me saying this long time ago when I said, hey, you know what? And this is back when I was with my ex-wife. I said, this is going to be the future. Like, this is the future. And I remember specifically saying it. She remembers me saying it too. And obviously she feels stupid. Not really stupid, but it's really hard for people to look at things objectively. I look at things objectively. I don't care whether I like it or not. It's just the way the world works. And where the world is going. And you look at human beings and you look at the way they act and the way they behave, and you can tell where it's going to go. So we are getting to a digital world. We are getting to digital IDs and different things like that. And we are going, many things are going to be digital. Why is it going to be digital? Because we know that the places that don't have digital things, they're extremely inefficient. We have a lot, and then we're going to get into the justice system here, but there's a lot of criminals and a lot of people who are in the system that are messing up the system and not really providing anything. And it gets into a little bit of control. It's a gray area, but the way humans work is they want safety. And if their safety requires them to give up a little bit or a lot of their identity, like privacy, they're going to do it. And case in point, if I told a mom, you can live in this neighborhood and your kids are going to be safe. We're going to have a park here and your kids can go walk to the park in this community. Your kids can walk to the park and they don't have to worry about anybody beating them up. They don't have to worry about anything happening, and everything is going to be on video and everyone is going to be ID'd. So nothing can happen to your child without them knowing about it. And the mom who wants to protect their son or daughter and wants them to be able to have a childhood life like they used to, right? Because back in the day, there was no safety. It was just like, hey, you can go out to the park and you can walk. I still think about it today. The miles I walked to go to the park, or the things I did to go to the park, and without supervision, I'm like looking at my parents like, how in the world? Now I can't do that because it's a different time. And once again, we're getting into a different time. So why am I getting into all of this? And why is it important? Because once again, I want you guys to see that this whole crypto system, and cryptocurrency and stuff, it's not just about Bitcoin. And I keep saying that. It's about distributed ledger technologies and which one is going to make it. Which one's going to be the best? Oh, it's a cat. Weird. And which one is going to be the best? And we have to look into the future and say, okay, well, what's happening here? And how can we usher in, how can we basically, for people like me, for people with not a lot of money like myself, we have to look into the future. We have to say, what's going to happen, because if we know what's going to happen, we can prepare for it. Now, if we're trying to avoid what's going to happen, and that's a whole different story, because there's a lot that needs to happen in order for us to avoid certain outcomes. And I don't know if we are, as a human race, I don't think we're intelligent enough to be able to do that. We're not intelligent enough to come together. We're not intelligent enough to have solid, educated conversations without without too much bias. Everybody wants to be in power. Everyone wants to create their own world, which is understandable. I guess that's human. But to objectively, if we looked at the world objectively, we're a disgrace. Humans are a disgrace. Humans are still treating other humans differently because they have a different skin color, because they have a different culture, because they make more money than them, because they don't make a lot of money. There's so much bias and discrimination. I'm gonna say borderline racism as well. Some people are just stupid like that. I think there are less people who are racist. I mean, if you're still racist out there, I mean, you got some serious issues and problems. But I do think that word has been thrown around a lot because there's a difference between racism and discrimination. But I'm not getting into that either, not too deeply. But if we look at our world, it just doesn't make any sense. We have all the intelligent people in the world. We have so many ways. Could you imagine if Chinese doctors and American doctors, the best of the best, got together and said, okay, we're actually going to create a cure for cancer, which personally I think it's already out there, but I don't know. So we look at our world and we still got people. We still got people killing each other over religion and gods that they think exist or don't exist, or they feel like their God is better than the other God, and all. Like, we're so behind as far as where I think, now this is me personally, where I think we should be. Now, let's bring it back to cryptocurrency. And when we're looking at Bitcoin, we see that it makes a great store of value, but unfortunately, it does not make a good unit of exchange. It does not make a good payment system. It's not really a great payment system. But nobody really cares about a great payment system, especially if you're going to be making big purchases. If I am a multi-millionaire and I want to buy a yacht, I'm not going to care that it's going to take me 15 hours or 24 hours for the payment to go through. Why? Because it's a whole lot better than TradFi. It's a whole lot better if I wanted to buy a yacht over in Turkey, for example, or over in the Philippines. I can just say, hey, you know what? Me and this guy, we can make a contract, and there we go. Money's been to him. I now own the yacht, and that is what it is. Bitcoin, one place, peer-to-peer. We're going to start doing that a whole lot more just on micro levels. Bitcoin won't be able to handle that. And we know that there's a trifecta as far as what distributed ledger technology is going to actually really stand out and take over. And right now we're waiting. So we'll see which one comes out on top. So, but anyway, you guys, I just want to tell you guys, first off, I apologize for me rubbing my shoulders. They really hurt really bad, my left shoulder. But as I always say, please do your own research, do your own research. And last but not least, above all else, people, it's a dangerous world out there. Please be safe, okay? Bye, you guys.